Hi, I'm Rob, and in this video I'm going to focus on the Wild Queen. She's in the Soul Forge right now and is an absolutely superb mythic. She's top 5 in the game for me, maybe even top 3 out of the standard mythics. What's really interesting about her is there's a new troop just come into the game very recently who makes her even better. He really aids, or it even, really aids her spell really well, and I'll be showing a really cool team using that new troop. As well as that, I'll be showing different Guild Wars suitable teams using each of her different colours. You can use her in every single colour viable for her colours in Guild Wars. And I'll show another really cool team as well in general. So let's take a quick look at her spell. Savage Dance steals attack from an enemy and gives it to the first ally. Then creates a mix of 22 skulls and green gems. The really important thing about that is the steal attack amount is relevant to your magic level in the game, but the create a mix of 22 skulls and green gems is regardless of your level. You could be level 1 and just start this game right now and just pull this mythic and you'll still create that awesome mix of 22 skulls and green gems. So she's really good for lower level or newer players as well. The way to use her spell is usually to cast it on the first enemy because you steal their attack, and if her spell should miss, which it can happen, and by miss I mean getting no alignment on that random mix of skulls and green gems, you will hand the turn to the enemy and they will often then get a load of skull bash on you, which you don't want. You don't want her basically helping out the opponent. The reason why you wouldn't cast it on the first enemy is if they're already entangled. That is a good strategy to use when using the Wild Queen, just in case her spell does miss. In that case, you'd cast her spell on a different opponent, because if you do cast this on an opponent that is already entangled, you don't steal any attack, because there is effectively no attack to steal because it's already 0 because of the entanglement. That's a really important thing to remember. So we'll look at a few teams based on those principles. Her traits are nothing fantastic, let's be honest. Allied wild folk gain 2 life is so-so. Summon a bone storm when an ally dies is actually kind of useless because we don't want any of our allies to die. It would be much better if we summon a bone storm when an enemy dies. That's a really strange second trait. And all wild folk allies gain 2 attack at the start of every turn is a little bit slow, but it can help. There's many times when you've had an enemy survive on 2 or 3 life, so it can be important sometimes. So let's look at the teams. And just a quick shout out to Charles. He's the latest Magical Invisible Lollipop Finder award winner, and it was in the Wild Queen's hands in the Soul Forge review video around about 16 minutes and 10 seconds. So well done to Charles for finding that, who will find the one in this video. Right, this first team uses this very new troop of Mechamare. It converts all red gems to green and all yellow to brown. We don't use yellow, so that's a really good thing, and red is only used for Mirage Queen, who her spell isn't actually that important in this team. It's the creation of those gems which is important, because Wild Queen uses both those colours. This is a really strong troop for generating mana for the Wild Queen to let her loose with a rather crazy spell. Using Mirage Queen in this side as well to give all elemental allies a 50% start on mana. That's really important, and because we'll be creating a bunch of green with the Wild Queen, we're going to convert all green gems to Doom Skulls when this gets charged, so that is a really good option as well. All those skulls will hit with the Wild Queen, and if they don't, we'll be left with a load of green left over, which we can then convert to skulls with the Mirage Queen. So it's a really strong combination with these 3 troops. To finish the team off, we're going to have the Arboreal Crystal. It explodes a bunch of green gems relevant to your magic level and grants a random status effect to all elemental allies. Then we have a summon as well, just for good measure. I am in elemental class at the moment, but this has pros and cons in this team. One of the best things about it, obviously, is that awesome third trait, but that can actually work against us, believe it or not. You always do want to get the first or second or maybe both enemies entangled before casting the Wild Queen, just in case her spell misses, as I spoke about earlier. But it can always be too good in Elementalist class. You can always have everybody with that third trait and everybody's entangled. So when you cast the Wild Queen, there's actually no attack to steal, because basically when you're entangled, your attack is reduced to 0. And if you're effectively stealing 0 attack when somebody is entangled. So if possible, leave at least one person or 2 on the other side not entangled if you can. So this is the way this team will work. The banners for this are +2 purple, +1 blue, -1 yellow in the Knight banner. And as I said, we're in the Elementalist class, and I'm going for Snap Freeze, Insulated, Stone Circle, Storm Aura, handy to get a nice start on brown. Rock Solid, always good. Stone Mastery, and Lord of Storms. So we're basically looking to get everybody charged up nice and quickly, which will be fast because Mirage Queen, Wild Queen, and the hero all start with 50% mana, and Mechamare starts with 50% mana anyway. So we'll be looking to get one of these two charged up, cast away, and then go wild with the Wild Queen. So let's see how it goes. Let's jump into a Explore 12. That is a different team I'll show soon. And yes, the Wild Mare is a combination of the Wild Queen and Mechamare. Took me ages to think of that team title. Right, so we'll look for green if we can. We've got some green here. We'll grab it that way. Now Mechamare is charged up. Converts red to green and yellow to brown. Might as well get that first for the hero. That works because we've got yellow to brown in the middle. That's got the Wild Queen charged up already. May as well cast her absolutely straight away. Now this is what I was talking about earlier. We've got the second troop entangled, but that's not actually such a bad thing, because when we cast the Wild Queen, we'll take away 40, in my case, attack from this first troop, which is going to give him now an attack of 43, which is obviously nowhere near as bad as 83. The good thing about that is, if we do end up killing him in this succession of skull hits, we've already got the second troop entangled, so they'll do no damage at all should we leave them any skulls. But there is a really nice mix of skulls and green on the board, so we'll have a really good chance of this working with the Wild Queen. And that's pushed our first ally's attack look up to 103, which is really good. We'll take that, and this is the thing now, like, we've got to take advantage of this as fast as we can with the Wild Queen. There's only one more opponent who isn't entangled, so we've got basically one more chance to seal their attack, but it should be plenty. It's not about getting the stats as crazy high as possible. It's about getting a really good balance between the team. So I'm not even going to take that 4 match near the bottom. I'm going to cast this while it's good. We have 145 attack. There's no reason to take this, but we can get the extra entangle maybe if we took this. But it's good to leave a good combination of skulls and green on the board when casting the Wild Queen, because we've still got some more attack to steal anyway, which we now do. We've got 181 attack now, and all the while it keeps on happening. May as well cast on anybody now, because there's no more attack to steal because they are entangled, and we're on 181 attack. We're going to whiz through the opponents, and that is going to be a comfortable victory. There's 0 attack on them, and it is a really easy, quick way to win games. That Mechamare, really handy for the Wild Queen. Okay, next up I'm going to show 3 separate teams, all suitable for the different colours in Guild Wars. This is a green based team, so you can use the Wild Queen in this because this is an all green team. And after this I'll show a purple and brown team as well. Now this team is really good, but one thing to bear in mind is you do need to change your class based on who you're fighting. I'm in Archer class at the moment because this is safe on this team, because there's no real looping element in this team I'm about to fight now. But if you were fighting, say, a Goblin team, then you want to change your class to something like Elementalist, because you do want to get them suckers entangled and frozen as quickly as possible, with as many chances of doing so as you can. But when loop is not essential on the other team, then this is a really good way to go. Archer class, we have a 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal, as well as a 50% starting mana, which is really cool. And the talents, I'm going to go for Hunt, Precision, Root Trap, Nature's Aura, Wall of Vines, Dodge, and Thieves Guild. Now the idea of this one is basically we're going to have a 50% start on the hero, which is nice, and Leprechaun is there to give us some instant mana generation, providing there's a decent amount of green on the board to start with. And then the strategy is the same as the other team. Basically, we'll cast Wild Queen on the first or second opponent, we can hit somebody with Essence of Evil and get them entangled and frozen anyway, so that should get charged up nice and quick. Basically, this is a really, really nice team. We've got a cleanse in there with Queen Beatrix, and she has a really cool spell as well. Creates 9 green and brown gems, sorry, and then deals a decent amount of true scatter damage based on your magic and level in the game. And she has a chance to get her mana back as well, which is nice. So that generation of colours feeds the weapon and the Wild Queen, and any excess green goes on to Beatrix and Leprechaun. So let's take it for a spin. I'll just show the banner first, which for this one is going to be +2 purple, +1 green, -1 red. Like I say, really nice fast start with this one. You get 50% start on the hero. We'll take things like this first anyway, just in case we get any random drops after that. Now, when there's a nice smattering of green everywhere like this for Leprechaun, I prefer to cast him rather than collect this like this, because there's blue nearby, there's colours we need nearby, and we've already got 3. Well, I've got everybody charged up now straight away. Now, the first troop is entangled, so they're not going to be hitting us back with skulls, so it's perfectly okay to cast the Wild Queen now on the next troop down. The reason is we're going to steal their attack, and should we kill this troop in the first place, then basically we're not going to worry about too much about the second troop down, because we've lowered their attack already. What we can do is now, for good measure, is cast Essence of Evil on the next troop down, or somebody who's going to explode colours which we want to explode. If I cast it on this one, it's going to explode yellow and blue gems, and there's a very good mix of that around, so I'll do that. And that's got Wild Queen up again. But now we have to cast it on the bottom troop or the second one, because we're not going to steal any attack from the first and third opponents at the moment. So I'll chuck it on the bottom one. And I've got 137 attack now. It's a really, really good team. For Guild Wars, it's very reliable. The only way you can fail in it really is basically if the game kind of robs you blind on colours, basically. It's very, very hard for it to fail. It's such an effective team. 2 attack to steal, may as well take it. And there it is, a really, really easy, fast, effective team, and suitable for Guild Wars as well. Next up, I'll show a brown-based team. Right, for this second team, this is an all-brown team, so this is suitable for Guild Wars on Brown Day. And it's another really, really strong team as well. We're in Titan class this time, and we're going to use basically the Forest Troll now to provide green for the Wild Queen and Emperor Nazara. Forest Troll doubles the number of green on the board, then creates 3 green gems. And it also has the superb benefit of inflicting entangle when doing skull damage. So by simply getting that 1 skull match, we can entangle the first troop, and then we're free to cast Wild Queen without having to actually think about doing that in another way. It's going to happen automatically with a single skull match. That is really neat. We can cast the Wild Queen as usual, and we've got the Wild Cleaver giving us a lot of benefits. Exploding a load of green gems, grants a random status effect to all the Wild Plains allies, then summons a Wild Plains troop. We're not too worried about that status effects one part of the spell, but the summon is handy, as is the explosion. And because we're in Titan class, we're going to get a 50% start to all giants, which is Forest Troll as well, so that's a really nice fast start for them. Scarab Blade is a weapon which is blue and brown as well, but the thing is with this one is I prefer the upgrades. This has got attack bonuses, which is cool. Enrage Myself is handy should we lose Forest Troll eventually, and deal damage to the first enemy and burn the first enemy. That's like a nice set of upgrades in that. The Scarab Blade just didn't have quite as good a set of upgrades for me. And the reason why I like blue and brown in this is because any extra blue that we get overspill from charging up Forest Troll will go on to that weapon, and in the same way any extra green we get for the Wild Queen will go on to Emperor Nazara. So that's the idea with this one. The banners for this one will be +2 blue, +1 brown, -1 yellow. So we want to get the Forest Troll charged up basically as fast as we can. Alright, let's take this one for a spin. The good thing about this one is we've got like different choices of summon as well. Not only have we got the summon from this weapon should we lose a couple of troops, but we've also got Emperor Nazara as well, which gives life to all allies, which is really nice in the first place. Gives us a lot more survivability, especially with Forest Trolls, skull reduction. And then we get a summon as well. So important on Guild Wars, because if you lose a couple of troops, it's good to actually get a couple of troops back, because that gives you more points as you end up winning the game. Right, let's see if we can get some blue or brown. Nothing doing there straight away, so I will grab green as my next best option. Yeah, again, nothing really doing on the colours we actually want. Come on, game, be nice. Oh, there's a yellow storm going on, which doesn't help. Yeah, I'll take this. No, I won't. I'll take the green one. Thought about taking the red over here because it might drop a brown nearby, but yeah, this is the way things go sometimes. Like, you don't always get the colours you want straight away, and it's been particularly annoying at the moment on the colours it's not giving us. So I'm going to try and force it by making... Wow, it's like brown doesn't exist, or blue, at the moment on the game. This is the way it goes sometimes. But we'll take the chance to get the entangle going, because we're now very close to getting the Wild Queen charged anyway, without Forest Troll's assistance. And we didn't even get a mana surge then. Wow. Can the game be any more stingy towards us? Now, I'd rather get Wild Queen charged normally now, because there's no need to cast this unless we don't want to. But there's no brown available, no green, and no purple. It's like the game couldn't make it worse. So we'll cast Forest Troll, see if we get a match for Wild Queen. I wasn't actually too worried about getting a 4 match then, because it's actually beneficial to leave a lot of green on the board sometimes. Because now when we cast this, we're going to give Forest Troll extra attack. That's going to give him a lot more hit power. That first enemy does have 40% skull reduction, which is why they're not quite popped to their clogs yet, but they will do soon. Don't mind taking that one out, knowing that the second troop isn't entangled yet, because we've already reduced their attack to 44. And with Forest Troll's skull reduction himself, that is actually not a lot of damage, because he reduces damage from skulls by 33%, which makes that around about the 30 mark, so we're not actually worried about that. I will take that down to that opponent there now, just in case we kill a couple randomly. You can hit them with skulls. We can now cast Forest Troll again, get lots of mana for the team, and now just finish them off. This is now plain sailing. You can even use Emperor Nazara if we want to give now 79 life, in my case, to all allies. No need to actually do that, it's a waste of a cast. So we'll just go about finishing them off. And we did have a pretty unlucky start on this. The colours were really mean to us at the beginning, so it wasn't the quickest thing in the world. But if we start off with Forest Troll getting charged nice and quickly, so I'm glad they actually done that, because now we can use Emperor Nazara Look to create a summon. We've still got 4 troops. When we win the game, we still have 4 troops left behind. So it's pretty robust for the Guild Wars. Even though they're hanging in there by the skin of their teeth. And we pick them off. And like that, and it was a comfortable, easy win. We had over 200 life on 3 of our troops, as well as the armour left. So really nice strong team for a brown day on Guild Wars. Now for the team that is suitable on purple day on Guild Wars. This is again a skull based team focused around the Wild Queen, and this synergizes really well, this team. We've got a Leprechaun at the bottom, starting with full mana and exploding those green gems. We've got Skeleton, who creates 7 skulls, then gains armor and an extra turn as well. That's really important. When we cast the Wild Queen, we're going to have a decent amount, hopefully, of skulls left over from her spell. And then when Skeleton casts, there's a decent chance we're going to create a 4 match there somewhere with those skulls. And if it doesn't, if it misses, then we gain an extra turn anyway. So we can make a match, hopefully, with the skulls that are left over, or make it in a way that we're safe from the enemy. The Wild Queen we know about. And the weapon here is the Arboreal Crystal. This is actually really handy. Explodes a bunch of green gems, which is going to charge up the Wild Queen and Leprechaun. Gives a random status effect to elemental allies and has a summon at the same time. The thing that I really, really like about this as well is the upgrades. You need to entangle the first enemy if we can, and when we cast this, we entangle the first enemy with the upgrade. You just need the number 7 upgrade to make sure you get that, and then you've covered the entangling side of things, which is really, really nice. Works really well. And we are in Archmage's class for this, and there are various reasons, basically to do with the extra purple. But as in the other teams, if you're fighting a Goblin team or another specific team, you will need to change the class. Or against Goblins, just Elemental class all the way. 2 bonus mana when matching purple is really, really nice. In the standard traits and in the talent trees, I'll be going for a Magic Shield, Dark Hunger, Anti-Magic Sphere, Mana Source. Really nice to get that 50% start. Don't think any one of these is particularly relevant. So Lightning Strike is handy for extra mana generation. And probably, no, Elementals, that one there, Lord of Storms. So, yeah, that's the team for this one. Let's dive in and see what it can do. The banner is +2 purple, +1 green, -1 red. Lots and lots of purple for this team. Have no mercy on mercy. No need to cast Leprechaun straight away when you get a nice easy 4 match like this. Always check around for other possible cascades. Now when you get this situation like this, you can cast Leprechaun or Arboreal Crystal. Always cast your Boreal Crystal first, because we're going to get that entangle on the first enemy. And now Wild Queen can cast away. Most of these cleanse herself, but this is a unusual situation. Part of her spell is to cleanse all allies, so that happens. But even if that happens, we can now cast Wild Queen on the first enemy, so we're going to steal their attack, and this reduced her attack down to 39. In fact, she died. We have got Wild Queen charged up again. We can do the same thing now, cast this on the first enemy, who's obviously immune somehow. But hey ho, whatever. And I know, we didn't do that, did we? We cast, didn't cast our Boreal Crystal. Stay with the flow. And you can see how straightforward this was. It was ludicrously straightforward. That's a really good purple team for Purple Day Guild Wars. Next one, I'll just show a standard all-round fun team I just like to use in Explore 12 and things like that. Okay, in this team, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Going for Slayer class and using King Silensus. King Silensus gives all the Wild Folk allies a 50% start end mana, which Wild Queen is, because she's Elemental and Wild Folk, so that's really handy. Queen Beatrix is also Wild Folk, so she'll start with 50% too. For the weapon on this, I'm going to go for the Glaive of Many Goats. This deals damage to an enemy boosted by Wild Folk allies. We get a nice boost from that. Then creates a mix of 6 green and yellow gems for each Wild Folk ally. Now we're all a Wild Folk in this, so that is really handy on the boost. Now the idea from this team is King Silensus, when he casts his spell, he's going to burn all enemies. So we're in Slayer class, and the benefit of this is we are going to use that awesome last trait, Fireblade, deal a triple skull damage to all the burning enemies. So the idea of this one is to cast King Silensus first, and then the Wild Queen afterwards, where when we've got burning enemies, we are going to hopefully do a ridiculous amount of damage, because first of all, we're going to steal the attack from whoever we steal it from, and give it to the first ally, boosting their attack level really high. And then we're going to get triple skull damage at the same time, which is going to be absolutely insane. So if the colours go our way on this should be really, really fun to use and really fast as well. The banners for this, I'm going to go for the Maze banner. Yes, the Wild Queen uses a purple, but we've got lots of benefits on this on green and red. We've got 2 allies that use red, 2 that use brown, and 2 that use green. So that extra +2 green and +2 red is well worth that -1 on the purple, because we should have no trouble getting the mana from this because of the Glaive of Many Goats creating a load of green and yellow. Right, so that is it, I think. So no, I'll just go over the class traits quickly because they are important. Become Enraged when an enemy dies is really important. We get extra damage on that. And Ferocity, a counter-attack, Up in Flames, Firestarter, Vengeance, Bloodthirsty, and Fireblade are the traits. So let's take this one for a spin. Kings and Queens, yes, another title. It took me many moons to think up the team name for this one. Right, so we're looking to get King Silentus up. That is the main priority. Without that burning going on across all enemies, it's defeating the objective of the team. But that's worked out really nice. We'll cast that on anyone. Now everybody is burning. Now the idea is to get the Mirage Queen up. That didn't work out so well that time, but we can hopefully get something with some random mana drops. It still hasn't worked out particularly well. Must be something, must be some green. Yes, there is. Right, now there's not a huge mix of skulls and green around, so this is slightly risky, and this is where Slayer class can go wrong, because basically nobody's entangled. We are subject to retaliation should we miss with these skulls, but again, we can reduce that by hitting them with the skulls. We've got triple skull damage now. We're going absolutely insane on their team, and they're down to the last one already. We'll see if we can get a 4-match with what's her face? Queen Beatrix. And there we go. That was literally one skull hit killings throughout. So that's another just fun team you can use for Explore level 12. Really fast when the gems go your way. And using Slayer class with Wild Queen, which is super, super effective. May as well do this last mythic boss. And call the video a day. Video your day. Right, so nothing really doing on red, so let's get brown. No red going again, really. So, what's Mercy going to do? Transform purple to a yellow, so in an ideal world we don't want that happening. But hey ho, we'll roll with our strength. There's no initial danger from that straight away. Get a surge on this, we should hopefully get the weapon up. Alright, now go weapon. That's worked out okay. When I get the burn going. Now we'll cast Wild Queen, but we'll take that first because that's 296 damage absolutely straight away. That was superb. Again, another single hit death, over 300 that time. And that was silly of them not to take the skull match, and that is a really, really easy win, and another superb Explore level 12 team to play around with there. Well, there's my focus on the Wild Queen and why she is so good. There's the Guild Wars teams, Explore level 12 teams, and more besides. So if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that like and subscribe button, because there's so much more to come in the future. And tell your guild, tell your mates, tell your cat and dog and fish and everything. Catch you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.